Hey everybody, Unstable Gamer here, and welcome back to Marvel Realm of Champions. In this video, we are going to break down the newest update, the most recent one, and it is a huge one that does impact how the game plays and does help with a lot of issues that we were dealing with earlier, specifically a leveling bug. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this, but first, before we do, if you're just now finding this channel and you want to stay up to date with this and other games, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out. All right, and welcome back. So let's go ahead and first, before we jump into this, just a reminder, all my social media links are in the description below. I do stream 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. If anything changes, I do put a post out on the community tab on my channel, so definitely check that out. Now, this is kind of what I'm dubbing the August update. We're at the end of August. We did have one minor update before this one, but really all it did was lower the amount of damage that the Sorcerer Supreme does, and it really didn't lower it too much. This update here is massive. There is a lot of game-changing updates here that is going to impact how we play and is going to impact how some of the players feel as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to break this down. Now, one thing I do suggest, if you're not in the game, you don't have access to the Discord, but you can join the Reddit. Make sure to join the Reddit because they do put all the patch notes out here. There's a whole community out here that is also keeping an eye on this game as well. So, all right, so let's take a look at this. Progression and economy. So what they're talking about here, they're talking about slowing down the pacing of the warrior tier. The change will allow players to progress quickly through initial tiers and get comfortable with the game before taking the training wheels off in warrior tier. So when I was in there earlier, I wanted to get a little play with this before the video. You're still gaining 10. So right now with my Hulk, I am in the not newcomer but the recruit tier. So that's the second tier, and the tier right before warrior, I was gaining 10 points for a win, and I was still losing 5 points. So they kind of balanced that out a little bit just so you can get more familiar with the game before you get into warrior tier. Warrior tier again. And I just put a video out on some tips and stuff, but warrior tier, if you haven't seen that, I'll go ahead and put it up over here. Warrior tier, though, once you get to that, you do unlock Black Panther, and she's pretty cool. This will also affect item drop and progress players past common gear quickly and make the boxes in the store more valuable. So something to keep an eye out on that. Again, as you progress through the versus mode, it does impact the gear that you can get in co-op. So again, that's in that tips video as well. So prepare for a larger player base. It says to prepare for a larger player base, we're making some changes to gold. That makes me think that we're going to get this game, we're going to get more players, an influx of new players into the game fairly soon, hopefully within the next week or two. That would be cool. That's just kind of me reading into that. But what they did is they made some changes to gold. So they did some slight reduction in gold rewards for completing some of the content. But they also did a slight reduction in the cost that it takes to rank up the gear and things like that. I mean, there was a point where I had like 17,000 gold, but it took and I upgraded 2 pieces of gear for one of my characters, for one of my champions. And it wiped me out of gold just for upgrading 2 pieces of gear. So it was expensive, and it gets expensive once you get up to that 3-star gear. But the fact that they reduced the gold rewards but also reduced some of those gold costs, hopefully it balances out a little bit. All right, it does say that the changes will have minimal impact on players in the early game and help create a much healthier gold economy for players as players begin to progress past the warrior tier. So we'll see kind of what that looks like. Right now we are limited to the warrior tier. We cannot go past that just yet. All right, so we also have some features here. So we have an improved tutorial there. So if you haven't gone through initial, I kind of would like to go through the tutorial again. I wonder if it'd be nice if there's kind of an option there just to kind of see what it looks like. It was pretty basic. It gave a nice base for the story. But so there's an improved tutorial there. There's also contextual tutorial. So basically what that is, and is like in that video that I had mentioned, I had described, if you look down at the bottom right, you see that bullseye looking thing. That's where your quests are. Now in the game, it'll hone in on that. It highlights that and says, hey, this is where your quests are. So just a little more direction to help the newer player find their way around the UI and everything a little bit better. We also have a new Stronghold Map. So this is co-op. the necropolis there, which is in the Kingdom of Wakanda. I have not played through that map yet, but it's very cool. So this update went live this morning as of the recording of this video, which is Saturday morning right now. So we do have some champion updates. So Web Warrior, so light attack, improved melee light attack damage. So that did it. They increased that by 4%. So it went from 22% to 26%. Nice to see a little bit more damage come Web Warrior's way. In my opinion, Web Warrior is probably at the bottom of the list if you want to stack rank the champions. So cool kit. I like the whole Spider-Man vibe and everything, right? But it's just this game is dominated. This game is dominated by Sorcerer Supreme and Storm mainly. However, Web Warrior is a ranged warrior, and range in this game is king. Melee champions have a little bit of a harder time. So that was the change with Web Warrior, Sorcerer Supreme here. So some changes here. So Divine Conduit increased the cooldown duration of Divine Conduit. So that goes from 16 to 18 seconds. So they are reducing how often that you can heal your team. They felt, I guess, maybe that the Sorcerer Supreme was able to do that a little too much. So they wanted to balance that out a little bit. Also special too, Light of Nivellon. So this is the rune that you put down on the ground that does some nice AoE damage. So the long range of Light of Nivellon allowed Sorcerer Supreme to nuke the entire team from relative safety, which makes, we're able to hold back and we're able to push that rune out there and do some damage at a range. And again, like I said, remember, range is king in this game right now. It's just a range reduction that brings the Sorcerer Supreme a little bit closer to the battle. Black Panther, we have a change here on the heavy attack. They changed the area of effect for Black Panther's heavy attack here, so it no longer it's no longer an AoE target ability. It is a single target ability. So you're only going to do damage to one target instead of multiple. So that was a change there. It's not really, I don't think that really impacts the playstyle much. It just impacts the dissemination of damage that Black Panther has. Now Hulk, a couple changes here. So they reduced the attack power ratio from 84% to 66%. So they reduced that, adjusted the distribution of damage between hit events from 30-70 to 38-62. So for such a big champion with an even bigger weapon, this impacts the Gamma Hammer specifically. Hulks have been able to easily close gaps on opponents to take them out. So we're reducing the area of effect damage from heavy attacks that give significant dashes. Heavy attacks that provide additional mobility deal less damage. So for Hulk, you have a couple ways that you can build Hulk. I really focus more on health and armor, so that he's more of a meat shield and he can take more damage. And hopefully, if you do have team members drop, they can last. You can last through that timer, so they can come back. And they also adjusted the area of effect placement and size. So that was interesting there. The ultimate on special 3 right here, adjust the ultimate damage. So increase attack power ratio from 44 to 46. So you get a slight damage boost on that special 3 ultimate. And that's the one where you go invincible and you do 3 massive hits. All right, and then for heavy attack for Gauntlets here, I don't have the Gauntlets on this one. Gauntlets are pretty cool because you have a nice stun. So with the amount of crowd control that Gauntlet Hulk possesses in their kit, we're giving the heavy attack the same treatment as the Gamma Hammer. So reduced attack power from 68% down to 42%. I think that's a pretty significant damage decrease. So may want to take a look at, as we build Hulk, kind of some of the stat adjustments there to kind of make up for some of that power reduction, or if you just want to go full on meat shield. And then Jade Rage Special 1 adjusted cooldown to match Hulk's Gamma Hammer Special 1 duration. We don't have that up here, right? No, it doesn't call that out up here. All right, so that's Hulk. There's a lot. That's quite a bit of change for the Hulk. So, I mean, just the feel of the game so far, you're getting a little bit more damage there with Web Warrior. You're getting closer to the battle with Sorcerer Supreme. You don't have as much AoE damage for Black Panther, and reducing some of that attack power there for the Hulk. Then Iron Legionnaire. So this one, we're shifting Iron Legionnaire's damage sources to make the champion feel more consistent. We're accomplishing this by reducing the effectiveness of Iron Man's light attack and making minor tweaks to his easier to hit long range damage. So they're reducing the attack power ratio from 18 to 15%. So you're a little bit less damage there with your light attack. You're going to do a little bit more damage with your heavy attack and with your special 2, which is your laser volley. That's that spread attack there. They're reducing that special power ratio from 50 to 48%. And then your unibeam, that's that massive 3 laser beam there. They're reducing the power ratio there as well from 428% down to 420. That does some massive damage. So it looks kind of like they're just balancing out the attacks there a little bit, giving you a little bit more on the heavy, but reducing the light and the laser volley and the unibeam there. So trying to balance them out a little bit. All right, we got some gear updates here. We got some bleed resist. Bleed resist is going to be gone. You're not going to see that generate on any gear. I don't know if you have it on some gear. I do have some with that on there. I didn't check to see if it was just taken away or not. I think typically when something like that happens, they take it away out of the game altogether. Black Panther's Spear and Sorcerer Supreme's Orb special attack bonuses will now generate on rare or higher gear pieces. So something just to kind of keep in mind. Right now I haven't seen anything more than rare. Anyway, holy cow. So then we got a whole lot of bug fixes. Really the only one I want to key in on here is this one here. This one was really frustrating because nobody could go into rank 2 and go past level 10 for a few days. And even though it was a few days, it was still very irritating because you were having like a team of 500 power level rated champions going up against 1,000 plus. So it was a little frustrating, but they finally fixed the issue there, so we can go ahead and we can continue to rank up. So people probably have a lot of ISO saved up and could probably get a couple characters up to level 20. So that was really the biggest one there as far as bug fixes and improvements I wanted to key in on. But again, if you want to go in here and if you want to dive into the details on this patch, then definitely take a look at their Reddit page. Again, this is a huge update. This is the biggest one we've had. It's only the second one, but this is the August update, and I think it does change the playstyle up a little bit just because of some of the changes that we discussed. So very interested in your thoughts on this. Those of you who are playing beta, what do you think of these changes? Has it changed your favorite champion or not? For me, it hasn't yet. And then for those of you who haven't been in the game, kind of what's your thoughts on this quick and early update that came out? All right, everybody, that's what I had for you today. Just a video to go over the newest update in Marvel Realm of Champions. Really excited for this game. I can't wait for this game to hit global. And keep an eye on this channel for more videos. All right, everybody, as always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.